Jason Lee Podcast.
Welcome to an all-new episode of the Jason Lee Show. Oh,
Not off the
Actually,
wrist.
the Jason Lee Podcast, I forgot where I was. We just did flowers right out the gate because we survived. We are getting flowers for surviving what has been the wildest ride on social media this week. You all voted for it, so I'm not gonna entertain all of the people crying about their abuelitas getting sent away. Y'all voted for it. Y'all didn't think about abuelita when y'all were voting. And that's part of the problem when people are voting or out here thinking about me. Humanity is not all about you. My tax bracket say I shouldn't give a shit about what none of y'all are going through right now because it's beneath me. Actually,
it's above me now.
In whatever direction it ain't got nothing to do with me. But I think about my family, my cousins, my friends, my coworkers, my colleagues. I think about everybody as it relates to the things I stand for. And you guys are losing your minds to the extent that I peek on social media and then I go away because I want nothing to do with the misery that you all created. And when you say, oh, I didn't do it, millions and millions of y'all did, so I'm just lumping you all in because I know we didn't. Y'all did it, and we're gonna get to it today because the internet is in a shambles. People are losing, they're literally losing their minds, deciding where they're gonna shop and not shop, who they're gonna talk to, not talk to. Meanwhile, I'm eating hot Cheetos and just like flipping through social media. I'm not subscribing to the fear mongering. I'm not subscribing to the hate. And I'll just see how you all are doing because mental health is like a real thing. And I remember in 2016, when Trump was first going through it and got elected. And then we went into COVID and all that. And the whole world was in a state of depression for years and paralyzed. Mm-hmm. I ain't doing that. I am going to spend these golden years sipping my coffee and looking out the window and running Stockton with my colleagues. That's what I'm going to do.
That's all you can do.
And the Jason Lee Show. Mm-hmm. And whatever else we want, our award show that's already off to like we have good things on the horizon. We're going to talk more later on, but are you is the sentiment the same or are you guys stressed out every day?
I'm just going to buckle up and stay prayed up because it's not even 30 days in 2025 and it's stressful.
Yeah, I mean, it's stressful, but I mean, we have to figure out ways and solutions to survive through it. So like being stressed out every day is not the solution. So I've kind of like come to peace with it. But of course, I'm still aware and paying attention.
Ancestors are rolling over in their graves. Slaves are somewhere saying, I did all that for nothing.
Yep.
And you know what? When the racism that's percolating up in our country right now, it's like it's always been there. It's just the policies and the progressions that we as the people have made kind of kept it subdued, but it's out there now. I watched a movie last night at home in Stockton, where I live. I watched a movie called Unhinged. Have you seen that movie?
Mm-hmm. It's good.
Russell Crowe got cut off by this woman. She honked her horn a little too loud and didn't apologize. And as a result, he killed everybody. I'm sorry if it's a spoiler. He killed everybody in her phone or everybody she was connected to. Okay, it was really gruesome. Yeah. But it's like that's the kind of venomous rage that's coming from people online now because people are so angry. Even on the plane today coming to work, people looking at each other like, say something. Like the tension, I remember how it was back in 2016, and I just thought we've come so far. Look, politics and elections have consequences. Y'all finna feel them. I ain't gonna feel them because I'm gonna lock the door in my soundproof properties and totally not listen to anything that's going on. All right. Did I miss anything in LA while I've been gone to work? I mean, gone home?
No, I don't think so.
No?
No.
Okay, good. Well, it's time to get the tea with Jason Lee. All right, Apple Watts. Now, I know Apple. I was on a show called Love and Hip Hop, as you know. That's where I started my career for you all in the public. She's gone through some really tough battles, and I haven't seen her in a long time. But Love and Hip Hop Hollywood star Apple Watts finally has broken her silence on her near fatal 2022 car accident and admits that she was driving while under the influence. Now, nearly 3 years after almost losing her life, and she was in a coma and everything, she was really, really banged up. Apple, who was also an exotic dancer, did an interview with Soft White Underbelly and said it was her son's birthday when she decided to leave her home in Las Vegas and head to a club in LA to make some money to buy him some gifts. Now, after leaving the club, she admits that she was a little buzzed and ended up dozing off and crashing into a truck hauling new cars. And she was driving about 90 miles an hour, and upon impact, she was thrown through the windshield and knocked unconscious with a serious head injury that left her, like I said, in a 4-month coma. Now, her car also went up in flames. As Apple tearfully recalls this moment leading up to the accident, she demanded to know why her loved ones didn't stop her from driving under the influence. However, she did take full accountability for her actions, and now she's turning her pain into purpose. And she's sharing this all for us to watch. Take a look.
I remember I ended up getting drunk. I kept this secret because I know people would judge me. But even at night, I went to my baby daddy's house and I tapped my son on his shoulders. My son said, I tapped him on his shoulder, I said good night. And I was drunk as hell. It seemed like when I woke up from my coma, everybody lied to me and stuff. And then nothing, I don't know what I was plugging people. Was I fully, was people really scared of me or something? They gonna act hard, it's fine. But it's like everybody knew I was drunk. They seen me leave. They see in the car park. I had somebody in my car, and they knew I was drunk. They let me leave, and I dropped her off. And she said she didn't want to get no confrontation with me. Because the one thing about me, when I'm buzzed, if I feel you coming at me funny or anything, I'm going to go ham on you. It don't matter. If you're my fan or not, I don't care. It is what it is. We could be fans tomorrow, we not be fans. But it's the fact that people didn't stop me. It's the fact that people let me leave. It's the fact that people that put is to not say nothing. So if I would have died, it's okay. They so used to that shit. No, you act hard now because I'm like this. Y'all be so hard now. But why y'all didn't say me? This shit, you could have saved a life. If it was me, I wouldn't mind being a punching bag. I'm that loyal. I wouldn't mind being somebody punching bag. I don't care. As long as you save a life. You don't know. But instead, people just let me leave. Let me leave. Let me drop them off. They don't care. Everybody gone. I'm by myself. I don't got nobody. It's okay. I got God. God is the only one. He been here since the beginning. I thought I had everything.
Now, I will say, this was a very hard video to watch because let me be clear, I'm not a friend to Apple like that, but I know her, and of course she's part of the Love and Hip Hop family, and we all know each other that way. And she had access to me before. I've lost contact with her when she went through this situation, and I remember sometime coming out of it, people were calling me, or she was trying to reach out to me to be on the show or something. And the thing is that, Apple, when she was not before the accident, was a mess. Her life was a mess. You saw it on the show. She had alcohol.
It's above me.
Sorry, wrong button.
Allegedly.
Other issues related to substance abuse. And, when I see somebody who I don't have a real strong connection to or personal relationship with struggling like that and going down a path that I know I'm not gonna go down there with you, meaning I'm not gonna take on another person that I'm gonna try to save. I'm not gonna go through that because I already went through my mom's addiction. I went through my own alcohol stuff. I'm not going to do it because we don't have that relationship. I just kind of backed away. I can't, right? Because people have to understand that decisions have consequences, good or bad, and when you make bad choices and then you surround yourself with other people that those choices spill over into, things like this happen. I'm not going to say I saw this coming, this particularly, but I did see her crashing out. So for us now to learn that it was alcohol, I have to say I want to applaud you for sharing that, because you will save somebody else who's driving under the influence. Years ago, when I used to drive all the time and drink, there were times where I would drive drunk. Oh, I'm going to drive home. I'm good. I'm a little here. And it only takes one small moment for something like this, so tragic, to happen. And, you know, she has a kid or kids. So on one hand, you know, Apple, you know, my heart goes out to you and the fact that you had to go through something extremely painful publicly. And then the other part is, you know, it's sad that your people weren't there for you, but let's play both sides of that. What did you put them through? Mm-hmm. What did your addiction put them through? What did your behavior put them through? You had real erratic behavior. You had alleged substance abuse, alcohol abuse. Like, why would people want to be around that? Now, if they were around you, if you know, to your point, if they're around you while you were good and partying with you and living off of you and all those things, and that's one thing. And then when you go through something tragic, they just leave you. And all of us want to know in life who's just there for us or who's there for the ride, who's going to ride with us when we're going through our storm, but who's just there when everything's cute. Like, I get that. But I don't know enough to know what you put those people through. But the whole situation is sad to hear her, you know, going through what she's going through.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, to add to that, I've been in circumstances where I've had friends or family members who were extremely intoxicated, and you're trying to get them to not drive themselves in fear that this kind of situation could happen. I've been punched in the face by a friend. I've got into a knockdown, drag out. My entire family got into a knockdown, drag out with a relative. He still jumped in the car and drove. So it's just like, in certain circumstances, people attempt to stop people, but they're going to do what they want to do as adults. And that's why, to this day, I've never had a DUI, thank God, but I've had a lot of people around me who have. And I Uber anytime I think I'm going to have a drink. I take an Uber. Like, it's just, I have a major fear of something like this happening.
Me too. It is so sad, but I feel like for me personally, whether I'm like really, really good friends with you or so friends with you, I'd rather fight you than like have to like plan a funeral, because that's, thank God she's alive, she's so happy to be alive, but like, and I'd rather have somebody, I'm calling the cops even if I'm scared, because I'd rather have her get a DUI than be paralyzed forever. That's so crazy.
The craziest part today is, in Stockton, leaving a meeting today, I almost got in a car accident head on with somebody who I was making a left turn in the Jeep, and I saw the truck, and I knew I had enough time to turn before that truck, but I didn't see a car on the other side of the truck flying through the intersection. We all slammed on our brakes. I literally, we came from like a foot or so from like hitting this car head on. And the craziest part is, when I think about this story, because I didn't even know we were going to talk about this today, is had I been drunk or been drinking in any way compromised, I would have hit that person head on and could have died or could be in this situation. So this just is all the more reminder that we have to be safe. We have to be sober. You know, I haven't drank now in almost 17 months. Actually, 17 months now, sober. And I'm not saying to people out there don't drink, because Rob gets slushed on the weekends, right? Have fun, but be responsible. You don't drink and you don't get drunk and drive, you know. And then if you have friends that can see like you're in a situation like Apple may have been, ask them. If you are trash, we're not going to let you get in a car. And this, I don't know, Uber was around here too, so she could have gotten an Uber, but when you're drunk, you're not thinking Uber. Well, Apple still remains in recovery after shattering her spine in 2 places, fracturing her skull, and injuring her arm and eye. Now, despite her ongoing recovery, she is determined to become a motivational speaker. And in her interview, Apple also claimed that while she was fighting for her life in the hospital, her older blood sister allegedly sold all her belongings, stole her GoFundMe donations, and applied for SSI to try and steal that money too. It be your own family. Well, Apple said her sister has never fessed up to anything, but in order to move on and take advantage of her second chance at life, she's forgiven her sister, along with other family members and friends who have left her side while she was going through this and failed to help her physically and financially. You know, returning home, the campaign has reconnected me with my family in a way that we haven't been connected in a long time, because as people know, when I got focused on my career, I kind of cut everybody off. except for my close friends. And my close friends have become my family. Now that I am back, I'm slowly getting back into dealing with more family. But this is why, unless you know where you really stand with a person, sister, whoever, you got to be careful who you have around you. Think of it. Her lowest moment, she's dying in a hospital in a coma, and your sister is allegedly, I have to say allegedly because, you know. Allegedly stealing your SSI money.
Plotting.
That's scary and insane.
I wonder if she just feels lonely. I mean, at this point, she has to feel alone.
For sure.
I mean, I hope there has to be somebody in her world who would want to be there. That's scary. The idea of just being left by yourself.
And the drive was the drive she was doing was from Vegas to LA. That's 4 hours. So who is letting you drive wasted for 4 hours? That's crazy.
Why are you even getting on the road?
Even 4 minutes. Yeah. But 4 hours is extra crazy.
Yeah, there's no club in Vegas that makes me want to drive to go hang out. Well, I ain't gonna lie. Being sober, I ain't even trying to go down the hill. It just, to me, going out at this point,
no.
And LA is lame, and Stockton, we don't have nothing yet. So we figuring out. Apple, I mean, I wish you the best in your recovery. And I hope that you get all the love that you deserve. I hope that you get all the closure that you need. Because what I saw in that interview was just straight pain. Like, not just physical pain, but emotional pain. And I can tell you, having watched my mom go through her addiction, come out on the other side, go back into using drugs again, and then trying to struggle with, you know, getting better, and then all the demons and the what if I coulda, shoulda, and why I did this and this and that. And like the mental and emotional abuse she put herself through and dealing with all her trauma is what killed her. Like, it was this weighing down of herself for her whole rest of her life where she never really recovered. So I hope that for your kids' sake, you know, you take it from me, and again, you do what you want with it, but somebody who's gone through watching somebody suffer in pain from things that they've been through, I hope that you give yourself the closure that you deserve, because if not, you won't have died from the accident, but you will die from this. Just trust me. All right. I wish you the best. Bye-bye. All right. Well, for all you blacks and Latinos, y'all in trouble, because Donald Trump says deportation and DEI is on its way out. Donald Trump is back in the White House, and when I tell you, it hasn't even been 30 days yet, and they are. I'll just say allegedly, because I don't know. I don't want the federal government, who's probably listening to us right now, to come and take us. Well, because when you have the CEO of Apple, the CEO of Facebook and Instagram, the CEO of Twitter, X, all sitting there with you, with all our data and all our information, in a country that the government regulates, when you're at the thing with the government, the top of the government, we live in some scary times. Not to mention AI, and they could probably kill you and put you, a you out there, AI version. I don't know. Donald Trump is back in the White House. It's been less than 30 days. And DEI, which is diversity and equity and inclusion, along with the migrants, are out the door. He, you know, on one hand, you got to respect somebody that tells you they gonna do this, and then follow through, because I'm very much doing that in my community. But it's things to make the community better. I'm not thinking of ways to divide the country and to hurt people. In fact, at my swearing in my speech, and Mayor Antonio Villaraigosa from LA, a former mayor, he told me, he said, politics is like mathematics. It's about addition and multiplication, not subtraction and division. So I always keep that in my mind as I'm making policy decisions or I'm talking to groups. Well, he ain't thinking about that. He is not thinking about that. Last week, Trump, was a topic on the show, and we talked about Trump signing close to 100 executive orders on his first day, with at least 78 orders from Joe Biden being overturned. So any progress that we had made through our last 4 years with our president, he overturned that on day one. We also talked about Trump attacking DEI and his promise using ICE and the military, our military, to go out and get people with this mass deportation. I've seen stuff on the news and on Hollywood Unlocked where we've covered that he's got the ICE agents, federal agents, gone into attorney offices for people who are seeking support and dealing with their immigration issues, and still taking their files with no warrants. Where they do that at? Because the Constitution is still supposed to mean something. At least now it's just pretty much like a napkin at Xochimilco. That's my favorite Spanish restaurant that I had lunch at today, by the way. I did. I had the chicken taco lunch.
I know.
With the extra cheese.
Extra cheese.
You know what I eat it.
I know.
Well, what else is cheesy is this guy. I don't understand how all of you Latinos and all of you city blacks and all you progressive whites and you women and you gays and you trans and all y'all out there voted this in thinking you were going to get cheaper eggs and better gas prices. Eggs still ain't available, still expensive. And y'all taking group rides on Uber because you can't afford the gas. Because the cost of living is not changed. In fact, we're getting ready to probably go through another recession at some point. Because all these tariffs in countries we're in fights with now to bully are hitting us back. Even Mexico said, you ain't going to land that plane over here. Mm-hmm. And if you did land the plane, you get in a fight with the cartel because he also said that they're a terrorist group and he wants to go to war with the cartels. Is this a lot and we ain't even 30 days in?
It's too much. And we're only less than a weekend?
Yep.
Like a little over a week into it, and it's just chaos. Chaos.
Well, now with Trump's attack on DEI, his executive order forces federal agencies to end their DEI programs and nudges private agencies and businesses to do the same. 2 major companies rolling back their DEI. Where's it at? Target and Walmart. Now, Walmart has always had issues when it comes to the black community. I can tell you at the union, they were on the do not patronize list because they didn't provide health care to their workers, and they're a multi-billion-dollar company. But Target, where y'all got, what's the black woman's name that got her products over there? Tabitha had her begging and pleading the culture not to cancel her today because y'all done put her in between a rock and a hard place. This former Uber driver who's built an amazing brand, who's inspiring. I actually don't even know her enough to want to follow her, but I do follow her because she's so positive that you just want that infectious energy to permeate in your life when you're dealing with the Stockton City Council. Well, y'all were at her neck today because she now is defending her products being over at Target when we want to support black products in spaces, but not in spaces that are now rolling back the things that make for equity. They're catching major hell, Walmart and Target is, because a lot of black-owned brands like Tabitha's are finally getting their just due and being sold in these stores, but now the community is reacting. Now, reacting to that heat, Target's Chief Community Impact and Equity Officer, Kiera Fernandez, I don't know if her first name black, her last name Spanish. Let me show you a picture of her. Or this is what she said. Many years of data, insights, listening, and learning have been shaping this next chapter in our strategy. And as a retailer that serves millions of consumers every day, we understand the importance of staying in step with the evolving external landscape now and in the future. What did that say?
A whole lot of nothing.
Did that say anything?
ChatGPT.
Put that back up. Many years of data, insights, listening, and learning have been shaping this next chapter in our strategy. So then, did it shape your strategy to go backwards and eliminate it? Like, I don't know what, I'm confused. Well, either way, reacting to the DEI rollbacks, as we said, was entrepreneur Tabitha Brown. And she did a 10-minute video, which I'm not going to watch the whole 10 minutes right now. Because, first of all, this is how it's going to go. Hey there. And I stopped there because I already know it's good. But she looked troubled in this video. Mm-hmm. She looked troubled because now she just retired her man. She just retired her because she made a lot of money. There's a whole movie and video about it. And I love that for her. And I love her and her man. I love Tabitha, and I want her to win. I'd be rooting for you, Tabitha, because I don't lose nothing if you win. In fact, if you win, we win. We all win. I am rooting for you. You don't check my DMs, but I'm rooting for you.
I was rooting for you. We were all rooting for you. How dare you?
Just delete the how dare you part because that didn't apply. Well, Tabitha went live for 10 minutes, and she has products in Target and Walmart and on Amazon. She urged customers not to boycott these retailers as it will have an adverse effect on the minority-owned business already several paces ahead behind non-minority brands. And although I get it, Tabitha, I get it. Oh, this is such a rock and a hard place. But we didn't put us here. And this, my friends, is what humanity is. When you make a decision that it's all about you, but it affects everybody else. Tabitha's catching stray bullets as a result of all of you who voted to support what's happening. Here's a video what Tabitha said. Look.
As disheartening as it is for me, I'm not the only one affected by this. It's for everyone who is a woman-owned business, minority-owned businesses, Black-owned businesses. It's for so many of us who work so very hard to be placed into retail, to finally be seen and approved for retail. Because contrary to whatever the world might tell you, it has been very hard for Black-owned businesses to hit shelves, right? Which is why it's such a big deal when we do finally land inside of retail. So it is definitely heartbreaking to feel unsupported. I am in business in multiple ways, with Target, with Walmart, and Amazon, right? I sell Donna's Recipe, my hair care products, right, are on Amazon. They're also in Target. And of course, I have a huge partnership with Target. I sell my seasonings at Walmart. I do business all over, just like many other people. And what I can tell you is, if we all decide to boycott and be like, no, we're not spending no money at these organizations. Listen, I get it. And if that's how you feel, honey, I 1000% get it. But so many of us will be affected, and our sales will drop. Our business will be hurt. And if any of you know business, it doesn't just happen overnight where you can just go take all your stuff and pull it off the shelves. There's a process. And then you got to, like, where you going to put it? You got to have a place to store it. That's money, right? You got to have another place to sell it, which is almost impossible sometimes. And even if you sell online, it's a process when it comes to business. And everyone does not have the funds or the means or the availability, the space to house their own products. But the thing that concerns me the most, and I want you to hear me and hear me well, if we all decide to stop supporting said businesses, what that does is you take all our sales and they dwindle down. And then those companies get to say, oh, your products are not performing. And they can remove them from the shelves and then put their preferred businesses on the shelves. And then what happens to all the businesses who've worked so hard to get where they are?
Black people have to stop saving everybody. And as much as I want to say, maybe we go to Target and Walmart and we just buy Tabitha stuff, but we don't buy nothing else. But even then, that's not how this works. This is why when the election was happening and all of you sat by and were silent, there were consequences happening as a result of that silence. And people went and voted. Now, let me tell you, if Walmart called and wanted to sponsor our award show, would I say no? Probably not. Because guess what? I'm still going to take their money. But am I going to give them my money? Probably not. Why? Because our dollar that transaction represents our will to support, our investment in them. These businesses thrive off of us giving them our money. And so when we say, you know what, I'm going to put my money somewhere else, that's when people start to feel it, especially when you're doing it in mass followings. So, I feel bad for you, Tabitha, but I don't feel bad for the institution that has found itself where it is. Let's be very clear. I think the Walton family donated to Trump. Also, can you research that? I think they donated to Trump. And if you're not aligned with a person and their policies, then your dollars should not be aligned as well.
Yeah, and I absolutely agree. And I think some of these diversity, equity, and inclusion programs that these stores like Target and Walmart were participating in were performative. And historically, the group that benefited most from DEI programs is white women. So Black women and Latino women, Black men, and Native American and Pacific Islanders didn't really benefit from DEI programs. So Target coming out now and showing their true colors and saying, oh, we don't have to support you guys anymore, makes me say I don't want to go patronize your business. I would rather put my money in the space where they actually do care about the end result of what happens to
So
people
here's
of color.
my question: if more Asian and white women benefited from DEI and they're dropping DEI, why do we care? I mean, because on one hand, if we didn't really benefit from it, I'm just playing devil's advocate. We didn't really benefit from it, and them removing DEI doesn't really say we don't no longer support blacks. Because clearly, if they're supporting Tabitha and the other businesses there, and they're not doing anything like firing black workers and all this or that, are we reacting more to a marketing campaign of people wanting to defend DEI, or just the idea of diversity, equity, inclusion, and support for all?
No, I think it's a little bit of both, but I think the issue is when it's being done this way, they're putting a brown face on DEI when truthfully the face of DEI is not brown, but they're trying to make people feel.
But who's making it? Because I know I see us talking about
the current administration. I'm saying him doing blanket disruption of DEI programming, and a lot of Americans, specifically, Trump supporting white Americans, are going, yay, we didn't need that anyway, when they don't realize it benefited them more than anyone else. And it's the same way with things like SNAP benefits and the things that they want to go away. Overwhelmingly, black people are not the ones who utilize those benefits, but it has a black face on it. So people are always like, oh, they use food stamps, when overwhelmingly white Americans use food stamps more than we do. So it's just like him doing this, to me, is just motivating people in the wrong way, like you said, to be frustrated.
It's a part of that. It's a symbolic gesture towards Project 2025.
Correct.
It's a commitment to the Proud Boys and all the groups that they made promises to dismantle all the work that's been done over the years. And since DEI, in the realm of conversation about equity and inclusion and affirmative action and these rights or those rights, is just, let's just destroy it, so that way it destroys this ideology that there should be equity, right? We know that in our country. Correct. That equity has not been something that's been passed down. It's been fought for. And a lot of what our ancestors fought for before in a pre-TikTok, hands on your knees culture, they were fighting for something that was very progressive. Now, unfortunately, look, and I probably sound like an old head saying this, because that's a lot of you are dumb. And let's be very clear. A lot of you are vaping your life away right into the TikTok dance of the week, and not really caring about the fact that your rights are being taken away. And you can be mad at me if you want to, but guess what? I'm going to sleep well. No matter what happens with this craziness, I'm going to sleep okay, because a long time ago, I got tired of working for somebody who can come in and do something like this. And I went out and started my own company. And then I created my own culture. We may have our fights and our disagreements over here, but the one thing my team can sleep well at night, as long as they're doing their job, it ain't going to be about them being a woman or black or this or that or gay or straight, or if you believe this or you believe that. It's just, are you going to do your job? And right now, his job is just to find a way to divide the whole country so he can just make it all messed up and blame it on Biden. Somehow it's all going to go back to blaming it on Biden. Trump's federal DEI rollback also resulted in the U.S. Air Force removing training videos of the first black pilots. That tells you what they're trying to do. We all know about the Tuskegee Airmen, aka the Red Tails. There's a whole movie, Red Tails, that my friend Mac is in, that shows you what their history, beautiful history. And the first female pilots, the Women's Air Force Service pilots, aka the WASPs. And after much backlash, even from Trump's own defense secretary, Pete Hegseth, the training videos were restored. Now, the Trump administration also shut down the White House's Spanish language page and social media pages. The White House pages for gun violence prevention, reproductive rights, and even the Constitution also vanished. However, the latter is reportedly being reinstated as federal web developers finish the site's redesign. How you wipe off the Constitution? How you wipe off the Constitution?
Well, you're trying to change it too. So, I mean, part of the question.
Now, let's get into Trump's promised deportations. Now, this included him threatening Colombian President Gustavo Petro after he turned away U.S. military planes. Now, President Petro said he didn't approve of Trump treating his people like criminals, and the U.S. must establish protocol for the dignified treatment of migrants before Colombia receives them. Trump spiraled and took immediate retaliatory measures, and here's what he said he was going to do against Colombia. He said, I was just informed that 2 repatriation flights from the United States with a large number of illegal criminals were not allowed to land in Colombia. This order was given by Colombia's socialist president, Gustavo Petro, who was already very unpopular among his people. Petro's denial of these flights has jeopardized the national security and public safety of the United States. So I have directed my administration to immediately take the following urgent and decisive retaliatory measures. Emergency 25% tariffs on all goods coming into the United States. In 1 week, the 25% tariffs will be raised to 50%. A travel ban and immediate visa revocations on the Colombian government officials and allies and supporters. Visa sanctions on all party members, family members, and supporters of the Colombian government. Enhanced customs and border protection inspections of all Colombian nationals and cargo on national security grounds. IEEPA, Treasury, banking, and financial sanctions to be fully imposed. These measures are just the beginning. We will not allow the Colombian government to violate its legal obligation with regard to the acceptance and return of criminals they force into the United States. So that means we can't go to Colombia now?
I mean, we're going to have to be extra careful when we do.
So all of that because they wouldn't land a plane.
Mm-hmm. I mean, and it makes sense. Like, why would you land a plane that you didn't know was coming? Like,
with people you don't know.
Exactly. Like, there has to be some kind of communication with these countries before you send planes to them.
Within minutes of Trump's post going out, President Petro's office said he was being the bigger person and providing a presidential plane for the dignified return of his citizens. Meanwhile, a Latin woman on TikTok who voted for Trump with her family broke down in tears and called on God over Trump's promised ICE deportations. I saw this nonsense. I'm going to play it for you. Go.
This is so crazy that we voted for Trump. We trust him with the word that he promised us Latinos. This is crazy that starting next week, multiple cities will be hitting immigration. That is so crazy that multiple people are scared to go to work. When I work at, a lot of Latinos did not go to work. And that's crazy because we have a living too.
Let me send a message to everybody who's really impacted by all this, because I need to do that first before I say what I'm going to say. To all of you who are impacted by this decision, I feel so bad that you have to go through this, because if you have birthright citizenship in our country, those type of things, like, you shouldn't be worried about this. And I can tell you as a city official, because I am the vice mayor of a city, just the thoughts and conversations and things we have to do to make sure the people are safe and feel safe, because it's created a lot of unrest that's real beyond this video, right? So to all of you people, my heart goes out to you, because this is real, right? And to young kids who are going to school or not going to school because they're afraid of being snatched out of their classroom, or the kid who's going to school to hang out with their friend and their friend's no longer there because their family is scared to send them to school. Like, this is really real. So I just want to contextualize it. Like, this is more than just a headline or a TikTok with a sad sound behind it to go viral. Like, this is real life shit that's impacting people. And my heart goes out to all of you. Okay, there's that. You dumbass shithead. You, lady, voted for that and had and has the courage and conviction to come on the God's, I ain't even gonna say it's Beyonce's internet right now because she's on break, on God's good internet, and make a plea for all of us to unite around some shit that you did. Nah, that ain't how that works. Consequences have elections. I mean, elections have consequences. I'm so flustered, I got it mixed up. Elections have consequences, and you made the decision to go out and vote your coworkers away. You went to go vote Abuelita away. You went to go vote your homeboy away. You probably voted you away because you don't even know. Are you a birther? I don't know. Those type of things are real issues. And as I sit here watching you cry, I go back to this post that Rob did the other day on social media. In fact, it was on that video, I think, where you posted a gif of Nene eating her food and minding her business. Because what you guys have done in dividing this country, believing that this was going to be the man to help you, did you really believe Donald Trump was going to create a pathway to citizenship program initiative after he showed you what he did with his black tenants, after he showed you what he did with Central Park 5, after what he's done repeatedly to show you that he has no respect for anybody but rich white men, and you voted for him, and now you on TikTok in the dark in your room in a hidden corner begging and pleading for us to stop eating our dinner and come help you and your cousins pack it up. I mean, the audacity, and guess what? It's not just the Latinos it's affecting. This is, I was at dinner last night, and there was a woman outside speaking nonstop German on the phone. You too. Y'all too, because Germans, y'all don't cross the border on water or walking across it, but you fly over that motherfucker. Shout out to Obi. Right?
They sure do, and they overstay their visa. It happens all the time, but you know, black and brown people are the face of this effort.
That's what I'm saying, because there's a lot of undocumented immigrants that are my color. They may or may not be in my family. I don't want to call attention. I don't want no smoke, but I feel like ICE is not going to target them. They're not going to come get white people. It's only black
because
and brown.
all of this is really about dismantling the progression of black and brown people.
Right.
Like the Project 2025 document that was 900 pages. First of all, none of you read. I have a book that's 222 pages. Y'all, so half of y'all haven't read it because you're waiting for the audio version. For real. But like you know, you have the 900 something page thing. You can take that thing in a PDF and put it in ChatGPT and have it break it down for you. Some of y'all didn't even do that. And so you're wondering why we are here right now where this woman is crying. Another tearful woman to speak was Mexican-American singer and actress Selena Gomez. Y'all got Selena up out her bed early in the morning, begging and pleading and crying. Look.
I just wanted to say that I'm so sorry. All my people are getting attacked. The children. They don't understand. I'm so sorry. I wish I could do something, but I can't. I don't know what to do. I'll try everything, I promise.
I didn't see her at a Kamala Harris rally. She has the most followers on Instagram. I mean, I'm not blaming you, but this is where I understand people were afraid to participate in some areas because of whatever. But like, and Selena does a lot for the community, but like, what does crying on Instagram do? That's the thing that gets all of you all worked up and crying and, you know, having this public display of brokenness. I'm not subscribing to it. And maybe because I'm not impacted in a direct way, meaning like I have no family or friends that are on their way out of the country. I have friends all over the world who don't know what this means now. Like, can I come to America? Can I not come to America? What happens if I, you know, so it's creating unrest around the globe. But it doesn't impact me directly outside of my role as a vice mayor because my city is impacted because we have 46% of our community is Latino. You know, we have a huge agriculture community, so you have a lot of people in the fields, and people. Those of you who voted for this, if you think them rounding up people farmers who work in the farming industry, if you think them rounding up the people who are doing the service in our communities that we all rely on every day is going to benefit the economy, I could tell y'all right now, ain't gonna be a line of white people lining up to go pick tomatoes or to go pick olives or to go pick grapes or to work in the fields. There's none of you with privilege are going to be working in the jobs that these people step in to do because they actually want to provide for their families. And so the fact that we're villainizing and weaponizing this process in our country to hurt families and little kids at that, and now people who have birthright citizenship, that's in a constitution, that's a right. And the fact that we're idly sitting by, how can you have an opinion on Gaza? Because this is a different type of genocide. Now, I know you're going to, I can feel you right now wanting to go viral. He's comparing this to Gaza. Well, what we sat by and watched over there, you can say what you believe it was, and I can tell you what I believe it was. I understand the conflict that's gone on for decades, but when we saw bombs and buildings blowing up that they didn't plan to blow up and little babies being killed and people shoved in a corner but couldn't go nowhere but get murdered, what was that? Okay, so now when we look at what's happened in our country, what are we saying? This is enforcing the law? No, this is trying to change the law in order to serve a certain demographic. And as a result, what we're going to see is a mass deportation and a lot of rights violated, the same way we saw a lot of rights violated across the world. In addition to all this, cutting off all the aid, he cut off all the world aid, I think, in a day or something, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep, and it's going to have a massive effect on, like, a lot of countries are saying that are, really desperately in need of support from a health perspective, are saying there's going to be an influx of people who have HIV infections that start to, pop back up because they're not getting access to medication. He's cutting off aid to a lot of countries that need that money to support themselves from other countries that are, trying to invade them. So it's just a massive effect which eventually will come around to us because we get supplies and produce and agriculture and a lot of oil. A lot of things come from other countries, and we don't think about how that's going to affect us from a monetary perspective.
And think about the way we police the world, having intel and military all over the world, making sure that the threats stay over there. And when you start pulling all that out and pausing all that funding, how do those sleeper cells, those terrorists in the shadows who were monitoring are now loose to move around? I just think we're not really thinking about our global security. And then on top of that, the people that are being appointed, I have 4 to 8 years to lead my city. And if I decide to do more after that, it is what it is. But we got to get active. And this is the thing, right? Right now, there is no balance in government. You have the Republicans have the House, the Senate, the White House, and the judicial branch, the Supreme Court. And nobody's thinking about what significant impacts can happen. I'm thinking about it. I'm just not living with it on social media. So, Selena Gomez, I know you have a big heart. I know how much you do for philanthropy. But crying on the Instagram is not going to help. I'm going to tell you how you can help. Find somebody like me who has a PAC and put millions and millions of dollars into that PAC to run campaigns to change the landscape over the next 2 years. Find and fund brown and black media outlets who are going to keep the culture alive for these next 2 years, who are going to go out and report on stories, who are going to tell stories and help change the landscape of how people receive their news online. So that way, the Trojan horse social media strategy that the Republicans did this last time, you'll be at the forefront of that fight with your own platforms. Be smarter, but crying on Instagram, y'all talking about God, come help us. God can't vote. All God can do is hear your prayers, and He heard you, but he gonna hear you when you get rounded up too. Because unfortunately, I don't believe that He's praying to the same God that you are. In fact, I don't even think that God, who guides my footsteps or may guide other people's footsteps, God ain't even on the main line, so He can't tell him what He wants. You could tell him, but I don't think that. What can God do in this? I mean, this is not me saying I have no faith. I have faith that I'm going to be fine because I know that my connection to God is going to give me the patience and the preservation of my feelings. But y'all didn't pray before y'all went and voted. And if you did, is that God who told you to vote for? Because if that's so, then let God have His way.
But I feel like you also, if you do know anybody who is undocumented, or if you are yourself, you need to know your rights. Because I know they were in Chicago, where I'm from, they were putting all the ICE officers there, and my really, really good friend, he works at a big tire shop, and they had to close their garages and add like 2 things of security now so that ICE doesn't get in, because they can't just come and grab you. So like, I think it's important also to know your rights, because they can't just snatch you away.
First of all, you don't even have to respond to them if they talk
yeah, exactly.
to you.
And a lot of people don't even know that.
Well, that's like when police come to your house and knock on the door and say, "Can I come in?" No.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. If you let them in, then everything when they get in there, that's what most people that don't know the rights fall into the trap. And this is why during my speech when I won, I said, or I don't know if it was my speech, no, it was later on in my comments, and it's there for you to go watch. I said the greatest experience or the greatest part about my campaign was giving the slaves their books back. And when I said it, I could feel people's reaction to it, because really, well, if you think about it, in slavery, slaves were kept enslaved because they weren't given education. They were robbed of the information that would give them knowledge. That's clearly what's happening right now. He's picking off the weakest group of people in the country in terms of access or understanding. Some may not even have translation, right? We know what I did in Stockton for that. Sad situation. My heart goes out. My prayers do go out for you. But God can't save you now. Y'all for the next 4 years. no si se puede. It's over. Like, and honestly, I'm not even a doom and gloom guy. All I can say is hold your local electives accountable. Make sure that if you're not in a sanctuary state or sanctuary city, that you know all your rights and that you know how to provide cover. You know, go to work and have the courage to go to work because you got to pay for your survival. But also, if you have kids, sit them down and explain to them what's happening, because I'm sure kids are just in a world of confusion. And I don't know. It's sad. But anyway, I hope everybody makes it through. We're going to watch. He's not losing one night's sleep at all. He don't care. Bye. Well, speaking of those that don't care, Rappers is out here doubling down on Donnie.
Bitch, you tried it.
Snoop Dogg and Nelly, they are still trending, and it's been days from the inauguration where they were performing for Trump-related activities. Last week, we talked about Snoop catching heat with Rick Ross and Soulja Boy after performing at the Crypto Ball, which Trump didn't even attend, but was held by his supporters during the inauguration week, because there's lots of events going on in D.C. Well, Snoop maintained his stance with subliminal memes after the event, but now he's directly addressing the backlash, and here's what Snoop had to say.
It's Sunday, man. I got gospel in my heart right now. For all the hate, I'm going to answer it with love. Y'all can't hate enough on me. I love too much. Get your life right. Stop worrying about mine. I'm cool. I'm together. Still a black man. Still 100% black. All out. Till you ball out. Or till you fall out. I ain't going nowhere. Come right here. Yeah. On crypto. Yeah, get the crypto on crypto. Here we go. We gotta learn to pick each other up instead of pulling each other down. That's what we great at as black people. We great at tearing each other down. You could be up 1 minute and they'll try to pull you down the next. But I'm a strong black man. I'm cut from a different cloth. Can't tear me down. I'm one of God's child, one of his children. And I'm taking the load. Oh, here we go. It's me, 24/7, 7 days a week. Y'all stay strong. The only way to beat hate is with love. Learn from the dog. Teach you something every day. God bless y'all.
Nelly, on the other episode that we talked about, we shared his initial comments defending his choice to accept the gig to perform at one of Trump's 3 inaugural balls. He told rapper Willie D that if men and women who serve this country are called to war to protect the president, then he can be called to perform for the president. And then in the second interview with ABC News the night of, Nelly shared the same comment and doubled down on his political views, not needing to agree with those of his fans, even though his comments and decisions to perform for Trump affected his wife Ashanti, whose longtime fan page shut down in protest. Nelly remains firm on his beliefs, and now Florida rap legend Trick Daddy is defending Nelly and claims that he made $1.5 million from performing for Trump. Listen.
A lot of people is upset about artists performing at the inauguration. And you know me, I have an unpopular opinion about that. Yeah. You want to know how I feel about it? Listen, I remember when Kodak Black did the song with Tekashi 6ix9ine, and everybody was saying, oh, he a rat. Well, maybe y'all rat. He's not my rat. I never listened to his music. I never knew of him before you guys started giving attention to him. So you need to stop giving attention to certain things that you don't approve of, because it's the biggest promotion you can do for the thing. So Nelly did a podcast where he was explaining himself about performing. First of all, Nelly, congratulations for that $1.5 million you got for that show. I wish they'd give me $1.5 million. They got mad at Kodak for getting $1 million for Tekashi. Tekashi gave me $250. I would have did a verse for him. It's not nothing personal when it's your business. If my worst enemy booked me to do a concert, I'm going to do that concert. If he booked me in a territory where I was beefing or I had what y'all call these days ops, I'm going to do that concert.
I'm going to try to answer these. There's a lot here. So I'm going to try my best to break it down, because people have been asking me, Jason, what do you think? Jason, what do you think? Jason? Old Jason would come on here and probably say some real crazy shit like, y'all bojangling ass house porch monkeys, whatever they want to call you, because at this point, that's what OJ. He not here anymore. He not. He's really not. I've evolved. Let me say this. What hurts me the most out of all these people is Snoop. Snoop Diggity Dog. I'm talking to you, and I've never talked directly to you ever. I don't think through the mic because of how much respect I have for you. Y'all know I be talking my shit. Snoop Dogg is like you're like an icon in hip hop, my era, our era of music. You are ain't nothing but a G thing, baby. You are Snoop Dogg. You are, a great father, a husband who's had his transgressions, but has kept his family intact. You do a lot for your community. When Tupac died and all that, you rode for Tupac. Like, you are so respected. You just were at the Olympics. You and Martha Stewart, y'all be smoking weed and cooking grits and spaghetti. Like, we love Snoop Dogg. I think for me, I'm not even gonna lash out because I'm disappointed. Like, the last time this happened, there was a whole video of you talking about how all these rappers were tap dancing and this and this and that and the sellouts. You were full of energy about it. And somewhere between there and now, you flipped. And I don't know if it's you didn't like Kamala, you didn't like Joe, you're trying to build a clear relationship with Trump and that whole billionaire group. Everybody has their why. I don't know your why. I know for us, it's easy. Nelly needs the money. Like, we clearly, he needs the money. And now he done fucked up Ashanti's bag. So now she needs the money, and we love Ashanti over here. Nelly doesn't like me or whatever, but that's okay. Don't care. We love Ashanti, and they ended up together. So I'm going to respect. What's his name? What am I talking about?
Nelly.
We're gonna respect Nelly. I forgot. That's how unimportant Nelly is. I forgot you mid-sentence during a show. Mm-hmm. Not really. I just want to be shady. Mm-hmm. But Nelly, we expect this from you because financially, we heard if you made $1.5 million, I can't tell you the last time you got paid $15,000 to do a show, right? So I get that. It was the bag for you. Easy. And your argument talking about the military and all that, please don't bring our military into this because the men and women who serve this country have more courage than me and you put together to go out there and put their life on the line so we can sleep at night. So that ain't even that. Y'all are trying to gaslight us into making you the victim when you're not the victim. And Rob is about to unleash on you because he represents all of the white women online who are really upset and not understand this. Okay. Then Snoop, I want to go back to Snoop. Come on, bro. You flip-flopping like that and not telling us why, we need to understand because you just mean so much more to us. And then for you to go online and try to use the we all need to stick together thing, and this is we need to stick together. That's like saying when they want to keep us enslaved, why are we fighting? We just all need to stick together and stay slaved. No, we need to not agree. We need to not support. You and Tabitha need to have a conversation. But no, you can't ask us to not be a sellout when standing with you right now would be us, in fact, selling out. Unless the why makes sense, which we don't have.
Nope. And like you said, as a community, as a culture, we have so much so much respect for Snoop. And for me, it's the gaslighting that is pissing me off. It's the sitting in the car saying, Black people, we pull each other down. We should lead with love. It's all of that. Instead of just saying, you know what? I made a choice and it landed me on the wrong side of history in this moment. And this is why I did it. Whatever. And move on. But it's the gaslighting that is really, really annoying.
That's what I was going to say. Because he was like, I'm a Black man. But I'm like, that was never the question if you're Black or not. Like, it's
right.
It was
because once you throw race in a conversation, people pick a side. Mm-hmm. There's gonna be Black women that say I'm riding with Snoop because he, then there's gonna be Black men who ride with Snoop and say, oh nah, man, fuck you, Trump is one of us. Y'all playing, you voted for it and you're playing, and now we're defending it. And but I also want to blame you because why y'all giving these rappers so much credibility and validity that what they do matters to your politics? Nelly can come out here and apple bottom Gene his ass all the way down to West Hollywood. Not gonna get me to vote or support things that I don't that are important to me. I still don't know how, if you're black, Latin, gay, trans, or female, I don't understand how you all voted that way. Bruce Jenner, you big old cluckhead ass chicken with the chicken bone in your throat ass. Please don't drag me back into the abyss with that thing. You know, congratulating Trump on the win the day that he wants to make it only a 2-gender world. And I'm not a part of the trans movement. That's not my thing. That's T.S. Madison's thing. That's Laverne Cox's thing. Those may be friends to the show, but that's not my fight. I am the G in the LGBTQA. I gave up after A. I don't even know the rest of the acronyms. But what I will say is, all of y'all are to blame for that. So I'm not going to get mad. I'm not going to come up here and bash Snoop. In fact, I'll say I did reach out to Snoop to get Snoop on the show, because Snoop has never been here. And we reached out to Snoop before this happened, because that's how much we really like Uncle Snoop. But are you our uncle now? I don't know. I need to know the why, Snoop. If you don't want to tell me, just tell somebody. What? Not that you have to, but you kind of have to, because we want to understand how Unc is thinking. Because this is not a G thing. This is a we don't know what the hell you did thing. And if you wouldn't have called them out so crazy the first time, maybe we'd be like, damn, but like, you did. Yeah. Now, on the other hand, Trump and them are probably handing out lots of money.
If Nelly got 1.5, I know Snoop got way more than that.
Think about this. If you went to the inauguration and you were one of those special guests, because that box, you had to probably pay crazy money or something. Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, all sitting next to each other. I mean, that's a powerful room to be in. Mm-hmm. So is this prestige? Was it the pursuit of prestige, power, money, clout? What?
And if it is, just say it. Damn.
And again, can we stop? Can we start having the same conversation we were having about Kamala Harris paying people and pandering in this circumstance?
Nope, won't apply because she's a black woman.
That's what I'm saying. So, like, you guys want to avoid this conversation about these people, and you want to justify when these people do it. It makes no sense to me. And everybody wants to pick apart how much people were paid with Kamala Harris. But y'all okay with him getting $1.5 million? And
if it don't make dollars, it does make sense to me. It's a money play. Mm-hmm. Nelly probably promised Ashanti some expensive trip somewhere he can't afford.
Didn't they just have a baby? He paying for that.
Now paying for the baby. Miss Jackson is somewhere probably threatening to release something on him. So he's probably, allegedly.
Allegedly.
Maybe not. Snoop. Everybody wants me to go in on Snoop. I can't even find myself to go in on him. And it ain't because he's a gangster crip, because I'll call the police and put his ass in prison. It's because it's just like, Snoop, you're so iconic to us. And like, we literally just have reached out and so being excited to get you on the show. And we still want you on the show. That I just don't understand why. That's like a big shift. I have said it, I want to be very clear, that as a vice mayor of a city, because I'm not just Jason Lee with Hollywood and Lockdown, I'm a vice mayor of a city. I'm going to pursue the White House for federal resources, because we have a community that needs infrastructure, that needs low-income housing. They have HUD, right? And I expect to be given the same respect Kim Kardashian did when she went and freed everybody with Trump, but she wasn't tap dancing and doing all of this extraness. She used her platform to give him the look of doing what she needed to do for the community. And that I will give Kim a round of applause. Absolutely. Because she did that. She still let Pete Davidson put the kids on her lap. Still mad about that. Sorry. But she did that. And so I respect how Kim Kardashian moving more sturdy than y'all. I never thought I would say that. Snoop, I'm disappointed. I know you probably don't care. I've been to Snoop's compound. Snoop has a cool situation set up. You are Snoop Dogg. So we need answers. We need answers. Anything else on this?
Yeah, like I just want to I want people to, like, on their own time, do a side by side of what it looked like of every picture at Trump at his inauguration. It was a sea of blonde hair, blue-eyed white people.
Mm-hmm. Or old.
And they were some old, some young, but there were rarely, if any, black people in that image, because that is the picture of America that they're fighting for. And us being used as entertainment solely for this administration is frustrating.
It's the same way we used to tap dance in Bojangle back in the day.
And they're allowing it.
Damn.
We're just entertainment now. That's all we're good for.
Didn't Kanye have a song called New Slaves? All right, bye. Just when we thought we weren't going to hear it anymore, D Woods is now saying Diddy did something to him. In a new ABC News interview, former Danity Kane singer D Woods opens up about her experiences with Sean Diddy Combs. She's also featured in the investigation discovery docuseries The Fall of Diddy. Speaking with ABC News, Eva Pilgrim, D Woods, born Juanita Denise Woodgett, claimed Diddy fostered a verbally abusive work environment and treated her and her group mates like pieces of meat. Well, let me first start by saying that this has been a toxic workplace at Hollywood Unlocked too. So I'm actually thinking of my own place of business as I'm listening to this story. Now, the 41-year-old singer recalled being on MTV's Making the Band in 2005 and having some troubling interactions with Diddy, who she claimed both helped build her career and eventually stripped it from her in 2008. On the TV series, Diddy would fat shame her and notably fire her along with Aubrey O'Day and Danity Kane. Take a listen.
Day we were chosen, I was like, it's bad boy for life, baby.
I'm curious why you decided to speak up now.
I would say that this moment now is a time where I feel like my experience, my truth will really be heard and actually considered and believed. He did it in different ways with all of us, you know, picking and prodding and just a way to chip and knock away, but then praise you.
I see myself standing in those dark, scary, predatory spaces and hearing somebody say some of the most degrading things to me.
How was it predatory?
Somebody constantly treating you like a piece of meat, only valuing you for your sex appeal. And in some of the environments, you know, it was even scary to be by yourself.
Is there anyone you could have talked to about it?
Absolutely not. Each other.
There was no one to tell?
Because what were they going to do? So it's like, how do we survive this?
Are you afraid in some ways that he'll get out, that there'll be some sort of retribution?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, even doing this, you know, it's like, maybe I shouldn't say, maybe I should stop talking, shut up, you know, but it's like, you know, well, not talking hasn't changed anything either.
What would you say to Diddy if you had the chance to talk to him?
I didn't hear nothing. Did you hear something?
It was a clickbait.
Did you hear anything? Did you?
I heard stuff we already know.
D Woods, you know I love you, girl. I heard absolutely nothing. So what? He didn't like you. You didn't like him. He looked at you as a piece of meat. You were a girl group dancing and singing. My heart is damaged. Damn it. Oh, damn it. I love that song. Y'all, what woman in the industry right now is not selling sex appeal? Sexy Red? I mean.
You heard the Bruno Mars song?
Not going there. Women are selling sex appeal. Every time I see Megan Thee Stallion, she is on her knees and twerking her ass and trying to make her little booty clap. It is what that is the industry. I did not hear anything, and what I'm not going to do is continue to entertain Diddy stories where y'all come up and disgruntled because somewhere he may have sent you back to work at Bojangles on the front line selling chicken plates. Now all of a sudden he's the problem. No. When people give you a platform, it's your job to run with it. It's your job to build from it. And I'm not saying that you're doing nothing because clearly you're still alive. I don't know, you're feeding yourself somehow. We don't see you on the charts and we don't see you on Broadway. We don't see you. I don't see you. And I see you now talking about Diddy. And now we're talking about you because you're talking about Diddy. But I don't know. What did Diddy do? Diddy didn't do nothing to you. He didn't like you. So what? I don't like people. There's days I don't like Marina. It don't mean that she's going to.
What about Rob? Why is it gotta be me?
I'm going to get to Rob. I don't like Rob right now. There are days that we don't like each other. There are days if y'all think my staff don't sit up and talk shit about me, please. Don't laugh too much. Exactly.
Oh my God.
Marina and Johnny sit over here with no supervision and talk about me all the time. But here's the deal.
I know you lying.
You're not always going to like who you work for, who you work with. And who's to say when they move on, whenever they move on, they don't talk about me. You think she not talking about Kelly Clarkson over here? Oh, please. Steve is your girl. She love you. She don't talk too bad about you, but just a little bit. You know, at the end of the day, that is just human life. So I don't really get mad about that because I expect it is what it is, right? But you guys all just, I need to know more. I didn't hear that he tried to have sex with you. I didn't hear that he demanded you to have sex with him to get a record. I didn't hear he cut you because you were fat or didn't have a record. I didn't hear those things. I hear you saying a lot of nothing. And I will tell you all right now, this is why I love living in California. The only one thing other than now being the vice mayor of Stockton is that if you say some shit like this about somebody in California, they can file an anti-slap motion against you and sue you and make you pay for you suing them. And I just did that, and I just won, by the way. That's why I love living in this state. And if you live in Atlanta, that's a state where you could really, really get it. And there are laws. You got to search your state. If you don't live in a state where these laws are present, move, because you're in danger. This is a new era now where the clout chase lawsuit can get you caught up. And I'm not saying that you're completely, because D Wood, you and I mean, I ain't talked to you in so long, but you know, we're friendly when we see each other and it's all love, and you're an amazing girl. And now I'm trying to think of who you're friends with we have a mutual friend. But anyway, I'm sure they're going to call me when they see this, because y'all do your thing, TikTok. Y'all have a way of making people see my viral content. But I just don't believe this. And then this right now is becoming a kick a man while he's down thing. You're actually going to turn people who support all of the women coming forward against you in support of him, because they're going to feel like you all are just at this point just trying to get a check because you couldn't find one on your own. Well, Diddy and his legal team has denied all these allegations in the docuseries. Now, here's what his attorney told ABC News. The producers failed to provide sufficient time or details for his representatives to address unsubstantiated claims, many from unidentified participants whose allegations lack context. By withholding this information, they made it impossible for Mr. Combs to present facts to counter these fabricated accusations. He has full confidence in the facts and the judicial process where the truth will prevail. The accusations made against him are pure fiction. What do you make of it? Money grab or not?
I don't know if it's a money grab, but I feel like now it is nice to see that. I feel like now that Diddy's locked up, everyone's free to speak without fear of like dying from pneumonia.
He can kill them from in there.
Oh, okay. That is true. That is true.
Just him being locked up.
That is true.
Would actually make it easier and better for him to kill them now.
That's true.
Because he's locked up. I didn't do it. Well, who did it then? I don't know. Yeah, you think he's getting visits? People are going to see him.
That is
true.
May
not be saying it, but you don't think he writing on a note, kill, murder.
Especially now after this. But
listen,
I'm like,
there are people killing people from prison right now. The Norteños, the Sureños, the Crips, the Bloods. The people are making calls. That man, if he wanted to have D Woods killed, I know she can't afford full-time 24-hour security. Period.
Protect.
Yeah, that's what I don't know if this was a money grab. I just think it's like we saw him beat somebody down in the hallway. We've seen worse. We've seen pretty much the worst of the worst. We've heard the worst of the worst. So right now it's like the stories that this was just kind of like, okay, we know he's a bad person.
But that's why I'm like, is this a legal thing that she can't talk about? She has to know something crazier, because what she explained is literally what we saw making the band. Everybody saw Diddy talk crazy to Aubrey and
I think there needs to be a law, and you all, let me just say right now, let me start over, because this is going to be the thing that goes viral. I know now when things are going to go viral. There needs to be a law that lock people up when they make false allegations. And you need to get the same time the person would have got had they been found guilty of your lie. I don't know how you make that law, because then that discourages victims from coming forward. It makes it complicated for people. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And look, if you've been raped, assaulted, your rights have been violated in a way that they're saying Diddy did, you deserve to get everything you want. Mm-hmm. Men too. Because the Me Too movement left out men. There should have been a Men Too movement. We should have started that. Men Too, Me Too, because women are not the only people subjected to the things that they say this man did. He touched the small of my back once. I was like, Diddy, if you don't get he wasn't trying to, I don't know what he was trying to do. Well, either way, D Woods,
I know she knows.
Back
more.
to working at Target you go. We're not accepting this. I'm sorry. And look, unless there's new evidence that I don't know about, but we need to see it. And please, I don't want any phone. I'm not taking any more phone calls of people who don't like what I say. You have to come on the shows. That's just I'm too busy building stock.
Yeah, call me so I can book you on the show.
That part. Good luck, Diddy. All right. This topic actually really annoyed me. And it's not because of Dwight Howard. This is not the best photo of him, by the way. Y'all, I don't know what's going on.
Looks like Andrew's boyfriend right there.
Nice.
He does look like Andrew.
He does.
Royce, you are welcome to come on my show because you are a nasty woman. No, and Royce be in our DM. We post her. Again, Royce, I know that you're smart and you read for filth and this or that. And if you're a reader like I'm a reader, I know you probably like me. So I'm not going to go too hard on you because I know like we're probably very similar in the sense of being a shady, nasty. You are a nasty, filthy woman. By the way, probably a good mom, but probably not. I don't know. I need to ask you. I've never met Royce in that capacity, but she would probably be a good interview because she gives it. And those type of people, the Tommy Lees or whatever, you need that. And she can read. But it's giving real bitter baby mama because maybe the checks have worn off or, you don't really have the support or love of a real man now. And so, like, you're probably laying up there lonely, wondering why you loaned your vagina to a man who wanted a penis. And now we don't even know if Dwight has come out or not. I've had my own conversations with Dwight, so I'm going to keep those there. But I will say that this smile and that hairdo is giving it away. And look, Royce did what that one woman did on TikTok where she wanted to do that whole story to go viral and then she get a whole big old deal. It ain't working for you, girl, because you did a 22-part series on Instagram and we posted every clip of it. And nobody called you from Netflix. So I don't know if that worked for you. This is why people say I'm messy, right? But whatever. I'm just doing my job. I haven't done my job in so long that it just until this story got good. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like it's like,
You've been reporting.
Maybe you could pitch this to Zeus. And you can produce it.
For people who wonder why me and Rob are best friends, that right there. See, he's the nice, nasty, shady one. I'm just the he said, not him say pitch the. First of all, you're gonna respect Zeus. Now, let's give it up for Zeus Network.
They would eat it up.
No, because Lemuel Plumber.
They would eat it up.
Let me tell you what Lemuel don't do. He don't know how to forget a wire. Lemuel Plumber called me any show he want to do, he want me to do, I'm gonna do it. That's the loyalty I got to Lemuel Plumber. But anyway, back to whatever this is. Okay. I haven't even started telling the story yet, right? Nope.
At all.
So is that like prejudgment?
It's just the setup, setting it up.
But Dwight, the fact that Kitty was even in your phone, we ain't even gonna dig in that. Did you see Kitty? Google Dwight Howard Kitty.
Who the
Kitty. Okay, so moving right on. Former NBA player Dwight Howard is again being called out.
Who is Miss Kitty, Lord?
That's who.
That is not Miss.
Hold on, but let's get back to the show. Dwight Howard is again being called out by his ex, Royce Reed, a former NBA and NFL dancer and former star on Basketball Wives LA. Now, Royce, who is just one of Dwight's 5 baby moms, appeared on former NFL player and friend, not to this show because he won't get on a damn plane and get out here, but friend to our award show, Cam Newton. I love Cam Newton, by the way. His podcast, Funky Friday, and suggested her son's father is gay. Now, let's just stop for a minute. Dwight is now engaged to another woman coming out of Dancing with the Stars. Dwight had been accused of and sued by a couple transes. Dwight has not, I don't think, publicly said he was gay, but he has not run away from being called gay. And I'm going to just leave that there. Well, for years, Royce has been pretty quiet about her ex, but last month she offered the world an interesting Christmas gift and broke her silence as her NDA expired. Nasty. I'm going to tell y'all right now, anybody who slept with me has signed an NDA. Break it if you want to. Break it. I've had people try to extort me. Oh, give me some money or I'm going to post a video of us kissing. It just surfaced again. Go ahead, I kissed you. Or, I've had people, try to extort me. Oh, I'm going to do this. Let me tell you something. You better go back and look at them Bigo days.
Oh, Lord.
Of when that person tried to extort me and I went and told the story about how they love protein. Go Google it. Well, watch who you have kids with, because it'd be this filthy trough, bottom feeding birds. Not saying you, Royce, I'm just pointing at the picture because I'm telling the story, but it'd be the ones that you lay with, have kids with, and that sign the paperwork to get the dollar ding-a-ling, and then turn around on the expiration to try to tear it all down. Well, now that her NDA is over, she's now speaking. She did several lengthy Instagram posts that I talked about. They were lives where she did this video series called I Had a Baby by Superman. She went in and alleged that Dwight's older brother touched him and their sister, meaning that Dwight was a victim of abuse, and his sister, who has nothing to do with her marriage to him or her baby with him, by their brother. Then allegedly continued with her and Dwight's son, Braylon, who is now 17. Okay, Royce claimed her son was molested by Dwight's nanny for 5 years and brainwashed to believe otherwise. And she also claimed that when her and her son were living with Dwight during quarantine, she walked in on Dwight and a bunch of men
Allegedly.
talking to the then 12-year-old about his sexual organs, G-spot, and sexuality. Although shocked, she was made to believe that Dwight and friends were just having guy talk or the birds and the bees talk. Royce also alleged that Dwight would hold drug-filled Diddy-like parties at his house with his children present. And Royce also alleges Dwight verbally, physically, and sexually assaulted her and made her do sexual things that she didn't agree with, like allegedly putting a finger in his booty. Now, the timing of Royce's Christmas confessions was called into question because they arrived moments after Dwight proposed to rapper and Love and Hip Hop Atlanta cast member Amy Luciani. However, Royce said it's not about Amy and all to do with Dwight because he's allegedly still harassing her behind the scenes with constant civil and family court cases. Now, Royce also said she fears for her life and to look at her ex first if anything happens to her. Now, a month after Royce's viral videos, she's recapping it all with Cam Newton in an interview because that's what you do. If it didn't go viral enough, which it did, let's make it go more viral. And by the way, Cam, you also, a lot of people are texting me that what you did was shady by platforming her because she also went on there and she also, I think, threw Shaq or somebody. I want to get to it because I'm sure it's here, but she threw other people under the bus as it related to Kobe's death, which is an extraordinarily sensitive matter for all of us people in LA, just people, Laker fans, basketball fans. It was just done in poor taste, I think. And then she also, she used your platform to out him, pretty much. Well, that's debatable. She also demands to be left alone by Dwight Howard, while again suggesting he's in the men. This is what she said to Cam.
You mentioned there were sexual acts that he wanted you to participate in and said you didn't feel comfortable, but you still did it anyway.
Yeah. Like when we first met, like when we first started like dating and we finally started having sex. So this was like back in probably early 2005 because he didn't hit it like early. I didn't like it, but you know, he would like my finger.
Aye.
I've never liked that.
I mean, we already here. Fuck it. Is he gay?
I think he's curious.
Have you ever witnessed him in some gay shit? Curious is one thing, but you ever witnessed him on some gay shit?
I have never witnessed him doing it, but by I mean,
No. Have you ever witnessed him being with another man in the bedroom?
yeah, all the time. They took mushrooms together. And then they were like in the bed moaning and like touching themselves.
Okay, so let me first start by saying, as somebody who is a part of the community, that, you know, I'm not going to tell broadcasters, podcasters, interviewers, whatever, how to do their job, because we all do what we do. And there's a lot going on right now with different broadcasters, and we have this kind of unwritten thing where we don't really talk about each other, unless it's Joe Budden, because he hates me and he's a fuck nigga at times, and I hate him too sometimes. But I love you, Joe. But today I do, but tomorrow I won't like you. I don't got a problem with you, Joe, but fuck you. But when it comes to Cam, you know, I love you, Cam, but like, why use your platform to force a woman who's clearly bitter to allegedly out, or make allegations of her ex-husband's sexuality when you got several baby moms out there who could be out here doing stuff like you, on you? They can come on my show and do it. They can go this person, you know, like, you got to be really careful. Like, why push them to do it? And is it sensationalism? Is it to go viral? Like, what is the purpose in doing it? Because nothing healthy is going to come of that. This man has a kid who may or may not know his dad's sexuality. So you guys aren't even thinking about the kid. You don't think about the kid being trolled online, harassed at school, his parents or his family, whatever. Now you're outing his son. She is outing her son allegedly being sexually assaulted. That's his story to tell, and I don't know that he's told it. So as somebody who's been molested, I think it's highly disgusting, Royce, that with all this forehead, you didn't use the brain in it to think about how fucked up that was to your son. I don't know if that ponytail is holding your brain too tight for it to get oxygen, but you fucked up and fell asleep. It's easier for me to read when I just tell him how I feel.
Go for it.
You know, and whether or not he's getting fingers up his butt, dicks or dildos, that's his story to tell. So why are they doing it on your platform? Because you get the clicks. Okay, all clicks ain't worth it. All checks ain't worth it. But nonetheless, here we are. And TikTok, this is going to go viral on TikTok. So you just tell your opinion, you go viral, but you don't necessarily have to hurt other people in the process. This was a very hurtful, mean-spirited thing. And something happened is probably just because she's not sleeping next to him at night, or a man like him. And he has a woman, even though he's alleged to been with Kitty. And Kitty is the most ugliest trans I've ever seen in my life. And the fact that you did, if you did, allegedly let that thing in a wig lay next to you, you deserve every termite bite you got as a result of it. Okay, let's just pause here for a second to get reaction.
Yeah, I was just extremely frustrated with this whole situation, because to me, it felt like, and maybe unintentionally, they were using the demonization of gay people for clicks. So she constantly was she made comments about him having a talk with his son about sex, which most people do, but in the context of the way it's framed, it now seems like he's grooming his son. Then Cam has a conversation with her about how dare he do this with kids in the house. Have you done stuff in the house with all the kids you have? Like, now, because he's gay, if because they're alleging he's gay, if he had some sex act in private and his kids were in the house, he's somehow harming the kids. Like, and then the narrative of him forcing these sexual acts on her, of using a finger or a dildo. Like, women are sexually liberated and enjoy using fingers, dildos, and tongues on men. So, like, demonizing him and this idea of him being gay is just frustrating to me.
And if she put her finger in his butt, that doesn't make him gay.
Right.
Because that's a woman and it's not a homosexual act. But either way, why is this a conversation happening in front of... Well, take us out the group chat. Why are we in it? Why did you do so many videos? What happened... Okay, I'm going to say the same thing I asked Snoop. What happened that made you...
What was the reason, bitch?
Why? Now, Dwight has since revealed that him and his fiance, who ain't got nothing to do with his ex, and don't have nothing to do with Kitty, and don't have nothing to do with the booty hole, she now is participating in a nice diss track that's positive. This is what they said. Look. Dwight said, about to drop the first positive diss song ever. Yep, me and my wife, Amy Luciani, about to inspire all of our enemies. No shade. Okay, no shade is a gay term. Just I mean, come on, clean it up on aisle 2. And here's the deal. If she's from Love and Hip Hop, that means him coming off of Dancing with the Stars, he's going to go right into Love and Hip Hop, and what a storyline. Wouldn't this be great? Because now she'll come in Love and Hip Hop, and now we'll see it. Oh, Mona Scott Young did this.
No, I think that
I'm from Love and Hip Hop. I'm okay. Let me make a prediction right now.
Oh hell.
Dwight Howard, Amy Luciani on Love and Hip Hop would not be enough, right? Because like, what are you gonna talk about? Did he date a man? Did he not date a man? And he's rapping, so Love and Hip Hop. What's the drama? What better way to get rid of your baby mama and get her off of your books if you get her a check? Didn't we see Stevie J and Jocelyn and Mimi? We've seen this before. And who produced that? Mona Scott Young. Mona, we know your greasily, grimy little creative fingers is producing this bullshit that I just talked about, but I didn't put it together until the end. And I'm telling you right now, if we see this pop up on VH1, cancel the show because we know it's fake. Because at this point, we know Royce Reed, that smile right there alone looks like the Grinch that stole Christmas, found it, and stole it again. And you, sir, danced right into our lives every Monday night on VH1.
But don't you think that this is also the fault of Cat Williams and Club Shay Shay? Because I feel like these types of interviews, like everyone just wants that type of like viral.
No, this
moment.
goes back to the fact that we live in a train wreck society. And if all we wanted to do was go viral, we would be going viral. I'm not mad at the success of anybody's show because clearly the numbers are there and they speak for themselves, and you can't be a hater. You got to just acknowledge it is what it is. But what next? Because now you're outing somebody. Yep. We're not even thinking about the kid that's in the midst of all this. We're not thinking about the fallout. And if this is all for a show, then it's like, what we doing? This is World Star again. Right.
You know, I was surprised to see on Hollywood Unlocked the comments under the post. Most people were defending him, and they were like, this was nasty.
And a lot of people were attacking Cam. A lot of people were attacking Cam.
Yeah, now I ain't gonna attack Cam because he's fine. I mean,
you know what?
Cam Newton is fine as hell. He's big and fine, and when he hugs you, no reason why he got. I mean, when Cam Newton hugs you, you understand why he got so many people pregnant. So.
So he's now excused.
His fine ass. No, he ain't excused. This is some tacky ass shit, Cam. You know better than that. But, you know, I ain't gonna lie, because I know, and this is all selfish. I enjoy going on Cam's show. I had so much fun.
You guys had a gay conversation too, but it was different. It wasn't.
What I loved about it was like the straight and gay man having that bro conversation, but it was an educational.
Yes, and
way.
he was more curious.
Yes.
This one, he was trying to get not that way. Sorry, not curious like that. Not curious like that.
Curious Cam, stop.
You know what? Don't do that.
Now I ain't gonna lie.
Don't.
Now I ain't gonna lie. You know, the studio was in a place with bedrooms. Nah, he too big for me. He ain't jump on my back. But it was more from a place of being inquisitive, curious, educational, connecting with a gay friend. That's not what this was.
No, this gaming setup.
Yeah. Royce, I know your ponytail's going to be in a bunch. You're going to be upset. I know. Here you go. Be careful, girl. I ain't that. And I'm a vice mayor, but when I tell you, don't do it. Do not. Warning comes before destruction. The Bible warned you about it. And, you know, just come on the show. You want to let me have it, come sit right here, or we'll go in the other room. We can get into all things. And Dwight, I knew I invited you on the show and you invited me to your house in Atlanta. Neither one happened. That's it.
That would be a great interview.
That would be great.
He's more than welcome. I was going to go to his house and talk him off the ledge from when all this stuff was going on because, you know, he was going through whatever that experience was, and it was a lot. We just didn't end up, I didn't go to Atlanta, and, you know, I've stayed somewhat in touch with him, and he had a successful run on Dance with the Stars. Dwight's a nice guy. He's going to be on Love and Hip Hop. I do smell Mona Scott Young. I smell her perfume. Okay, I smell Mona Scott Young. Don't call me because I'm still mad at you about the award show. All right, it's time for Thoughts and Prayers. When it comes to Donald Trump, if he doesn't get his way, he will just throw a tantrum and hit you where it hurts. Your pockets. We saw it with TikTok. They didn't want to sell, and Trump threatened to ban them. Now he's offering to keep them alive if they sell 50% ownership to America. Things are no different with his deportation drama. Foreign leaders rejected migrants on military planes. Well, here come the sanctions and tariffs. However, when it comes to Trump's DEI rollbacks, minorities are taking a page out of the president's book and threatening to boycott the companies that support them. Now that's what you call poetic justice. Despite Donnie's DEI and deportation drama, Donnie still got support from the rappers. I told you those dollars don't talk. Trick Daddy claims Nelly got $1.5 billion after Trump's inaugural ball, while Snoop said he's still a black man despite his crypto ball performance. I guess black is the new green. Or in Diddy's case, black is the new orange. Diddy's still awaiting his May 2025 trial, and all the allegations continue to pile up. He's got yet another former artist alleging abuse against him, and we know there are many more to come. Aubrey O'Day has been talking, but for Danity Kane's Dawn Richard and now D Woods to come forward, did she come forward? And Diddy isn't the only icon being targeted. Royce Reed dragged her child's father, Dwight Howard, and suggests he's playing for Rob's team. Y'all, January ain't even over, and 2025 has barely began, and this year is already off to a Suits Network series. That is it of the Jason Lee podcast. You can just continue to download this mess of a show. I feel like at this point in life, I should be doing so much better with my career than this podcast. This podcast, it entices me to continue to educate and inform and entertain you all with the foolishness. But, I mean, where else are they talking about it, right? Mm-hmm. Side note, Wendy called me again the other day. We did talk for a long time. She called me, and then I started calling people on three-way. I called Lunell. They had a long call. I tried to reach Tiffany, but she was asleep. I called Jerry O'Connell, who didn't answer the phone. Jerry's like, oh, my God, I miss Wendy. So, like, she sounds better. She sounds good. But, yeah. You guys, let's free Wendy, y'all. Hashtag free Wendy. Put it everywhere because she wants y'all to help break her out of there. And Sabrina Morrissey, you still in danger. We out. Peace.
The Jason Lee Podcast.